Hi there, welcome to Dressmakers Closet. My name is Jane. Today's vlog is all about what I'm wearing, the Florence top by Merchant and Mills. Welcome back. Yes, today's video is all about what I'm wearing today, but before I continue with what I'm wearing, what is Mabel wearing? Well, she's not wearing anything dressmaking. She's wearing my latest crochet capelet, and if you fancy having a go at crocheting or learning to crochet, please go and join me over on my crochet channel. This is my latest design, the Woodland Walk capelet, and if you can master a couple of the basic crochet stitches, you can certainly master all of my designs. That anyone can crochet them, and I do always have full step-by-step tutorials as well. And if you can crochet and you also would like to have a go, you can also get the PDF pattern that are all in my shop as well, and I'll put the links for them in the box below. But another reason why Mabel's wearing this today is because I've got a couple of pictures of me wearing this blouse, which I'll pop up later, just showing you how you can accessorise and layer your outfits with, you know, other things. So you can bring in jumpers and cardigans and capelets and just layer and accessorise what you're wearing. So I'll pop some pictures up of that in a minute. So back to the Florence top, and again it's by Merchant and Mills. Now I've got a couple of their patterns which I've had for quite a while, but I've never made any of them, so I thought I shall make a start. And the Florence top, which this is called, it only takes 1.5 meters, and I thought I would use up one of my linen viscose fabrics that I got from First for Fabrics, and this is one of the fabrics that I got that was in my plain solids vlog that I did a few weeks ago. I'll pop the link for that vlog up there. And I used the white one up for the ruffle sleeve top, where I raised the neckline, and I did it in the white, and it's such a lovely drapey fabric. So I thought, well, I would work on this dusky rose. I've also still got the ochre to use up and the biscuit, and I've got a couple of patterns in mind for those fabrics. But because it's like a linen viscose type of fabric, I thought it may be a bit creasy, but it's not at all. It's a really lovely, floaty, light fabric. And as I say, this is the dusky rose, and the Florence top, which I'll show you if you've never heard of the Florence top or even Merchant and Mills. There's that's my envelope, my pattern envelope. Also, I mean, I love these envelopes. If you fancy getting some hold of some of these envelopes, you can get them at Pattern Trace, and I'll put the link for their website in the box below. And I have they've given me, I'm not an affiliate with them at all, but they've kind of given me a lovely 10% discount code that all my followers and my subscribers can use whenever you want, and it doesn't expire. So please feel free to use this code. It's LoopyMabel10, and I'll pop it in on the screen below, and you can use it for all their products and you get a 10% discount. So if you like the envelopes or any of their other products, because they do loads of other products, they do the Swedish pattern paper, they do the pins, they do the sewing labels, they do those amazing dressmaking journal books, or all sorts, and you can use that code on all of their products. So please feel free to use it. So that is the my little envelope, and I did size 14. I just went off the sizes on the pattern, and there is the PDF pattern copy there. A little bit more of a picture. You can see it's got this delicious ruffle at the front, and then a longer ruffle going round the back, and then it's got the 3 buttons and the button placket detail on the back, which is so pretty. And it's just a little short sleeved boxy length top. Now I went for size 14. I just went off the measurements because I'm falling in between for this company. I'm falling in between the size 12 and the 14. So I thought, well, I'll just err on the side of caution, and I went for the size 14, and it fits me absolutely fine. It's 1.5 centimetre seam allowance throughout. The only thing I did differently was I did my sleeve length 1 centimetre longer than the instructions. The instructions say you turn it up 1 centimetre, then turn it up 2 centimetres, so it's like a 3 centimetre turn up altogether. I just turned mine up 1 centimetre, then again 1 centimetre, so mine's like a centimetre longer, my sleeves, because I'm not keen on my arms as such. And I've just got mine on today over, as usual, layered over a long sleeve white tee, because it's absolutely freezing outside. I mean, it is March and it's really windy outside. When I went out to take some photographs of me wearing it, I wasn't out there for long, that's for sure. So back to the pattern. What did I think of the pattern? Well, yesterday, if you asked me yesterday when I was making it, I would have said I hate it, I'm not never making it again. It was just one of those days where my fingers wouldn't work, so I couldn't get my fingers to pick up cotton, I couldn't get my fingers to pick up the pins. And then when I did pin all my ruffles, all my gathers, the pins kept dropping out. And then I was stitching part of my ruffle at the bottom, and then I didn't realise my bobbin had run out, by which time I'd gone halfway through, and my pins I've already taken my pins out, so I had to go back and repin and rewind my bobbin. And what else did I just like, and you would just feel like throwing it all in the bin and thinking, I'm not making it, I don't like it, it's a faff, it's a fiddle. And another thing that tipped me over yesterday was that the neck binding instructions, well, the instructions, to say the least, are basic. So if you're fairly new to dressmaking, I certainly wouldn't attempt to have a go at this purely if you were following instructions, because the instructions are quite basic. For example, the neck binding instructions, which I was on forever and a day. I know how to put neck binding on, but because there's the button placket at the back, you put the neck binding on up to before you fold over the placket, and then you fold over the placket, and then you stitch it. Well, I didn't like it. I just thought it was messy. I didn't like it. It just didn't seem right to me. So I was going to carry on, but because I knew it was going to bug me, I had to unpick it and do it again. I know it was on the inside and nobody would have known, but I knew, and I'm a terror for being a perfectionist. And I thought, no, it's just going to bug me. So I unpicked the whole of the binding, and I cut another binding piece out, and I cut my binding 2 centimetres longer than the pattern piece either side. So I had plenty of binding to play with, because I just thought it was a little bit skimp, the piece that I had cut out. And then I obviously put the binding back on, folded over the button plackets, and before I stitched it over, I pinned it and then turned it through to see what it would look like. And I just thought it was a little bit fiddly, so I tweaked my binding a little bit and folded my binding end over on itself, and then stitched my placket across. And then when it all turned through, my binding was ready turned, if you know what I mean. So then I just took the remaining part of the binding in and then top stitch it. So that was a little bit fiddly, and I was cursing away. I was tutting and sighing, and I felt like chucking it all in the bin. But that's one thing I would never do. If I have a problem, I love to tackle a problem. If it takes me an hour or it takes me a week, I will work on that problem until I have fathomed it out, until I got the solution. I asked John, he drives him mad, because he says, oh, just give up, jack it in or start again. No, I will work on a problem till I've solved it. So instead of it maybe a 2 to 3 hour sewing project, it probably took me more about 5 to 6 hours in total, on and off throughout the day. If you asked me yesterday, I would have said, no, I'm not making it again. It's too fiddly, it's too faffy. But once I got it made and I cracked that neck binding, and I sort of got to grips with their instructions and how they were trying to tell me how to do things. You've got to get yourself into the mindset of how that pattern company explain. So once I realised the instructions were fairly basic and you had to really basically use your brain a bit, it wasn't too bad. But I think patterns should be made so that everybody can have a go, whether you're a beginner or you're an advanced. It shouldn't be, you know, this is for advanced or this is for a beginner. I think because if you do the instructions clear enough and step by step and lots of diagrams, then I think a beginner would be able to quite easily make this top if it was set out in a friendly, user-friendly way. So I would, if you're new to dressmaking and you haven't tackled anything that's got ruffles and button plackets, then maybe go for something a little bit simpler, which is a shame because I think you could quite easily make it. It's just that the diagrams and instructions are a little bit basic. But apart from that, once I got it made and stitched up, absolutely love it. It is a proper girly, well, I think, a proper girly, swishy, swirly type of top. And I'll just show you the back detail. So there's the, I chose wooden buttons and the button placket, but I don't need to undo the button placket to get it over my head. I can get it over my head without undoing the buttons. And it's got a dart there and a dart on the other side. Not quite sure what the darts do, to be honest, but just the darts are in there. And I'll just stand up and show you. So there's the front. So it's a shorter ruffle, and then I'll just turn and show you the back, and it's really swishy with a deeper ruffle at the back. And obviously I'll pop some pictures up of me parading about in the garden as I do, and obviously there's pictures with me without my capelet and then pictures with the capelet, just to give you an idea. And I'll show you what I had left out of 1.5 meters. So not an awful lot of wastage because I hate waste. So that's one piece, and the other bit is a little bit more scrappy. So what I'll do is, as I always do, I'll cut off all the scrappy bits, and then I'll keep all the nice pieces for pocket linings, and maybe if I can, maybe get some bias binding out of it if I've got any left on the bias. I'm not sure whether I do. And also, as I always do with my scrap fabrics, I will make a raggy brooch. So you can get the tutorial on how to make my raggy brooch, and I'll put the link for that up there. And really simple, it uses all your scrap fabrics. You just cut 4 strips of fabric, sew them all together, gather them, and then stitch them in like a spiral, and then onto a back of some felt backing, and then add your brooch pin. And that's how simple it is, and they just look great. And obviously if you make them in your colours, your fabrics, you can mix and match them, and you can add them to your coats, add them to your blouses, your dresses. You can even add them to your handbag. You know, even put a clip and add them in your hair. Make great if you do them really, you know, really big with lovely fabric. You can make brilliant fascinators for weddings and, you know, occasions like that. So highly recommend you have a go at making one of my raggy brooches. I love them. I've got about 6. My mum's got 2. My daughter's got 1, but she's not keen because it's not her thing, but she's got 1. So that's what you can do with your scrap fabric. One of the things you can do with your scrap fabrics. So obviously I'll pop some pictures up of me wearing the garden. And as I say, I went down to show my mum, because I always go down and show my mum. She lives two doors down. And John always says to me when I've made something, go down and show your mum, well, you know. So I went down and showed her this morning. And my dad always says, what have you made this time? As soon as I go through the conservatory door, he comes out, what have you made this? Because he knows I always come down with something. And my mum absolutely loved it. So I think I shall probably make her one, because she really, really did like it. And she said, oh, I could wear one of them. So I might invite her up to have a look at my fabric stash, which is massive over here, and get her to pick a fabric and make her one, because I mean, it's only 1.5 meters of fabric and no time at all. Now I know what I'm doing. So would I make it again? Definitely. And I think it would look gorgeous in a gingham fabric. I've got some double gauze that I've got eyeing up here, which I think would look lovely too. A little bit heavier type of fabric, and I think that would look gorgeous too. And I think a lovely lightweight denim or a chambray would look gorgeous as well. And obviously you can change the buttons at the back, you know, depending on, you could do fabric covered buttons and all sorts. So It's a lovely top, great for layering, great for accessorising. It's going to be great for in the summer. And obviously you can wear it all year round because you can layer it. So it's a really good top to have in your wardrobe. So definitely have a go at the Florence top by Merchant and Mills. And if you've made this top or any of the Merchant and Mills patterns, let me know what you think. Did you think the instructions were a little bit basic like I did? And did they put you off a little bit? I'd love to know, and obviously share with everybody else too. So that's it for today's vlog. Coming next Sunday is my first in my series of Sew the Look. I have been browsing outfit ideas and street style looks that I like, that I would wear, and I've got a few chosen, and the first one I am going to be sharing with you next Sunday. It's just a street style that I like, and I've tried to not copy as such, but try to replicate in my way. So hopefully you will enjoy my series that's coming soon. I'm enjoying doing it as well. I'm really loving my sewing at the moment, my dressmaking. I'm loving my fabrics and all my patterns and just playing about and, you know, forming my style. And this year my tops have definitely changing my style in my tops that I'm choosing. I'm going for much shorter length boxier type of tops, as opposed to last year it was more like tunic smock length tops. So my journey is definitely changing as I'm going along, so it's all good fun. But until the next time, thanks for joining me today, and I shall see you next Sunday with Sew the Look. And as always, please take care and happy sewing.